A very good evening to you all and welcome from me, Rukidi Kiijanangoma, to News Tonight this Monday, the 30th day of May 2022. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. And we're going to begin our bulletin in Buloba, and we are talking about the pilgrims who have walked all the way from Fort Portal and they have reached Buloba, and they are camped opposite Ivory International School, where our colleague Michael Jordan Lukoma is on standby to give us everything as it unfolds there. Michael, good evening and welcome to the bulletin. Can you tell us what is going on so far?
Yes, good evening, Edward. Yes, good evening, Edward, and to you viewers. We are coming to you live from Mitiana Road, just opposite Ivory International School, around an area called Buloba. The pilgrims from Fort Portal Diocese, the diocese that is leading on the Catholic side, are in a very big number and they're resting here. So we want to talk to them and see how the journey has been and how they are moving on, the expectations they have, and how they have managed to move from Fort Portal hundreds of kilometers to where they are right now. I'm going to talk to their coordinator to minimize time. I'm going to talk to their coordinator who will tell us, give us a picture of how their journey has been and how it has been up to here. Sir, good evening.
Good evening to you.
You are live on UBC TV.
Yes, thank you.
In the first place, how many are these pilgrims in number?
These pilgrims are between 1,800 to 2,000.
They are approximately 2,000 people.
And more because there were some people who were added more. You see, all these pilgrims, they have this tag.
Okay.
So these tags we printed 2,000. So all of them are finished. So I think you are more than 2,000 something.
How has been the journey generally from Fort Portal, Virika Parish, up to where we have found you here?
The journey was really, of course, it's not a joke. When you start this kind of a journey, so many things happen on the way. So we are on the way, it rained. So those are those kind of things, you meet them. These people need to eat, these people need to drink, these people need to rest. So those kind of challenges were there on the road. Okay. So you cannot simply call it a simple journey. It's a hard journey.
Do we have people that have fallen sick, broken legs, swollen what? No. Do we have such cases?
No, these people, they don't get sick that they are admitted or what. They just need massage, resting and taking some sugars. Okay. But when you take them somewhere, rest, then they come okay and they continue the journey.
How did you prepare for this? These are 260 something kilometers from Fort Portal to where you will end.
Yes.
How did you prepare for it?
You see, in our religion, there is what they call novena. You have to pray novena if you want to succeed this journey for 9 days. Then after that, then you start the journey. So in this journey, you come praying. It's what you call the rosary. So you come praying the rosary throughout. Gets finished the 51, you go back like that. Then you have some water and believe. And you have to believe. Me, I have so many things since I started. I've taken these people for almost more than 15 years.
You have been leading the group for more than 15 years?
Yes. So I know them. We started very few. But then the number went increasing. The last time I led these people before COVID, there were 700. Yes. So, but because it is we leading, our bishop requested, please let more people join you and come to Namugongo. Okay. Yes, please.
Now, spiritually,
yes.
What kind of miracles or discoveries have you seen yourself this time round? More so that you're coming in after COVID-19. You're the first diocese to lead after the lockdown. Are there any things that you may look at as a Christian?
Me as a Christian, the first thing in 2018, I went my first pilgrim to Egypt and Israel. It is this journey, it is these people who really made me the Uganda Martyrs. 2019, I went to Europe, from Portugal, Spain, France, and Rome.
As the rest of us were seated in lockdown?
Yes. No, before the lockdown. Okay. Yeah, when they came back, so that was there. But spiritually, during the lockdown, me, I could get mass, I could go and pray at home, maybe very few people, and then we continue. We know this COVID would go.
My last one to you.
Yes, please.
What is it like to manage these people on the road? 2,000 of them. Then, what is the security situation like? Because let's start with this: how to manage them. How easy or difficult has it been for you?
It has been very difficult. These people, you have different types of people. You have the old people.
Yes.
You have the middle ones. You have the young ones. So now these people, the way how we are working, it's not the same. Those groups I have told you. The old people walk very slowly, but these young ones, they walk very fast so that they can reach at a stopping place, a center,
and
where
wait for the rest of you.
And wait for the rest of you. So that has been the challenge. You could see me stopping all of them. Let's go back in 2-2 as how we do normally, because it is the rule of the traffic to walk 2-2. Then too, security-wise, I want to thank the Uganda police. The directives was given that you bring these people from your district to another district, hand over, take pictures, then you take off to another one. That's how we have been doing it right from Fort Portal up to here.
So different police units have been following you, handing over to
another,
the next district.
The next district with vehicles, motorcycles, and lead cars, and then plus personnel, those who walk on the side of the road, about 20 of them who walk near the pilgrims, how they are walking.
Will you be able to give us the worship and the singing and the really celebration that we expect in Namugongo after this trek of over 200 kilometers?
For example, when we left in Swanjeri, 5 buses for choir. The choir in Namugongo, there where you see, it needs 500, but we have managed 350.
That's extended a little.
Yes.
Somebody has to pass.
Yes.
So the choir is already in.
It has arrived, and the bishop was there to welcome them.
Okay.
Yes.
Were you part of you, and they just jumped on the bus?
Where?
Were they walking with you?
No. It is just
came straight from Fort Portal.
They came straight, except the president, Adolf Kamal, the president of the Martyrs for the whole diocese. For him, he was coming, joining us a bit, going back to sing because he's in that choir. Yes.
Thank you so much. Your name once again?
Mr. Wonch Anthony Arali, coordinator and the person who was leading these people from Fort Portal.
Thank you so much. Edward, kindly, I would love to talk to 2 pilgrims here before we hand back to you. Mr. Coordinator, let me talk to a pilgrim here. Good evening, Nyabo. Orota.
Nimenya Luganda. Nasibye bulungi.
Osibye bulungi. Wakati otambudde okuva Fort paka wano.
Nedda nze sibudde Fort.
Ovudde wagwe.
Nze nvudde Kibalinga parish. Kesangibwa musaza lye Kasambya. Iye.
Lwaki otambula olugendo luno okutuuka Namugongo?
Nze kintambuza olugendo luno okutuuka Namugongo. Kati lugendo luno ibeera ssaala y'amaanyi. Kubanga abantu esaala eno obudde bw'abajulizi nga tebunatuuka, olunaku lw'abajulizi nga terunatuuka. Tusalawo okukola esaala eno y'okutambuza ebigere nga tuwaayo ebyetaago byaffe eby'omwoyo n'eby'omubiri. Naddala nga ku sayidi yange nga nsaba Omukama ampa okukkiriza ng'okw'abajulizi, kubanga eggulu ndyetaaga era mpulira nga ndyagala, naye mu bukristo bwaffe oba mu bulamu bwaffe ebisomozo bibeera bingi ebituziyiza okufuna oluusi okugenda mu ggulu.
Buzibu ki bw'osanze mu kkubo?
Nze sirina buzibu kuba guno mulundi gwakuna.
Otambula. Toyina wakuluma wonna?
Nze sirina wanuma.
I would love to talk to a youngster, then hand back to you. Oli otya sebo?
Ndi bulungi.
Yegwana erinnya lyo?
Amanyere Thomas.
Isituka katono wano. Yegwani?
Amanyere Thomas.
Amanyere Thomas. Osoma?
Yeah, no.
Tosoma?
Yeah.
Okay. Lwaki otambudde olugendo? Ovudde wa Fort?
Nvudde Fort.
Aha. Otambudde kilometers kati 200 and something. Lwaki?
Kulwa ebizibu byendina na kulwa eddiini yange.
Bizibu ki byolina?
Ebizibu ng'omuntu noba nobimanya ebizibu byawe nakubanza okeyonga Ruhanga nakutambura habwa eddiini yawe ukaleeba kiki ekyokufeera mu ddiini yawe.
Okay. So olina byosuubira okufuna e Namugongo okusolvinga ebizibu ebyo?
Yeah. Emigisa.
Olinayo abantu b'omanyi nga baatambula ebizibu byabwe ne bibeera nga bigonjoddwa nga baze Namugongo?
Nedda. Ate guno omulundi gwange gwe gusooka.
Okay. So bubaka ki bw'olina eri bavubuka banno nga gwatambudde n'otuuka e Namugongo n'otuuka kuba kati otuuse almost? Bubaka ki obutumwa bw'olina eri abavubuka nga gwe abasigadde effort?
Obutumwa bwendina bwe kubagamba bejje baramage batunga emigisa kuva ku Katonda balebe eddiini lwa abakaiso bano batufeera muno balabe ekitiinisa kiki ekibaine.
Kale webale nnyo. Edward, I'll not take too much of your time because you have to continue with the bulletin. I thank you so much for the time you have given us. We'll have a bigger conversation with this group early in the morning tomorrow. We'll meet them in Busega, but that's the picture so far. But they are a very big group, like he said, very many meters away from where I'm standing. You can see them resting all along the roadside. You can see them resting. Others are already asleep. They're taking a nap to see that they move to their next step. According to the program that we have shared from their leaders, they are going to trek up to Busega Parish, and it's from there that they will continue now to the Catholic Martyrs Shrine in Namugongo tomorrow in the morning, and there they will be received at a grand entry into the Catholic Shrine. As you can see, those are the 2,000 pilgrims that are going to part of the Catholic Diocese of Fort Portal. Let me say hi to this Mzee. Mzee, oli otya?
Ndo bulungi.
Kankwatire. Mutambudde okutuuka wano lwaki?
Nisiye barabumiri bwe aka. Abantu banirwa mose. Nera Kristo bukaiso ngo kwaba kaiso bakulike. Bakuriye dini. Nikicyanjiye wanje nyawuka bondo boge. Na lugire bondo boge. Nyawuka. Nikicyande tiyane. Nasina bagenzi banje bakani. Ababo kali. Sasiti bantu 30. Abali genyawuka bondo boge district.
Kale Mzee tukwagaliza birungi byerere. Okay. I think Edward, that is all we had for you at this point.
Very, very interesting, Jordan, of course, with those pilgrims who have trekked all the way from Fort Portal. And remember that Fort Portal Catholic Diocese is the one that will animate this year's Martyrs Day at the Catholic Shrine here in Namugongo. And we thank you so much, Jordan, of course, seeing some of the people there. Wonch, very, very staunch Catholic man. I know him from Fort Portal. And of course, Jordan trying to speak Rutoro there. Very, very interesting. And of course, we do keep praying for the pilgrims. They will be trekking, not only coming from Fort Portal, but others will also be coming from other areas of this country and also abroad. Now we'll be coming with more stories following this. To other news now, Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng has called upon Ugandans to observe the standard operating procedures as they congregate at Namugongo for Martyrs Day celebrations. Dr. Acheng spoke to UBC shortly after welcoming a group of pilgrims from Lira Diocese who have reached in Luero. We have more in this report.
The 580 pilgrims from Lira Diocese, Lango Sub-Region, have arrived at Kasana-Luero Diocese a few days to the Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations due to take place on 3rd June. The pilgrims, who started their walk of faith on 17th of May, were welcomed by the Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, amidst jubilations and excitement. Minister Acheng, who is also the woman member of Parliament for Lira City, was accompanied by her husband Dr. Andrew Chero and family friend Neil Whittingham. Dr. Cheng delivered food items to the pilgrims that included water, soap, soda, rice, salt, sugar, and beef, and thanked them for praying and blessing her.
And I came to identify with them, to feel what they are feeling, to listen to them, to listen to their voices, so that we can join them and just be part of celebrating Christ. And I am extremely happy just to see their beautiful faces, experience, what is in their hearts, and just smile and dance with them.
She thanked Kasana-Luero Diocese for providing accommodation to the pilgrims and the Bishop of Lira Diocese, Linus Wanok, for blessing them for the journey. Dr. Cheng cautioned pilgrims to observe the standard operating procedures against COVID-19,
which will include wearing of masks, sanitizing their hands, and of course, if you're sick, please don't go to the venue, because you need to check and make sure that you are not sick for you to go to the venue if you have signs and symptoms. But we are not testing people. We are allowing them to congregate and to worship the Lord.
The minister later joined pilgrims in an evening mass led by Reverend Father Paul Okuta, who is among the pilgrims from Lira Diocese. The pilgrims are set to arrive at Namugongo on the 1st of June, ahead of next Friday's celebrations, commemorating the Uganda Martyrs, to be animated by Fort Portal Diocese. Bernard Yiga, UBC News.
Meanwhile, Uganda Police has released a stringent traffic advisory to be followed during Martyrs Day celebrations. The spokesman of Traffic Police Kampala Metropolitan, Rogers Nsereko, has appealed to the general public to cooperate during and after the celebrations.
All roads heading to Namugongo have got special traffic guidelines in preparation for the Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations. The dynamism in traffic management will lead to closure of some roads, and the public is urged to comply.
Chireka Chaliwajala Road will be one way for vehicles heading to the venue. Chaliwajala Nalia Interchange will be one way towards Nalia Interchange. Chaliwajala Trading Center to the Basilica, also known as the Catholic Church, will be a pedestrian walkway. Pedestrians will keep right, and the left will be reserved for VIPs and emergency vehicles. So you might want to take right, but when we say you have to take left, please keep to the left until when you get to your destination.
Stickers in different colors have been printed to guide traffic in special designated parkings.
With vehicles bearing red stickers, we'll access Namugongo through Chaliwajala via Semambo Road and park at Namugongo Boarding Primary School, as will be guided by Traffic Police.
Police is expected to pilgrim in 4 special centers on the 3rd of June, that is of the Catholic Shrine at Namugongo side, Anglican Shrine also at Namugongo, and other Muslim shrine.
The Muslim community to Namugongo Mosque will access the venue via Boyogerere, Buto Road, and park adjacent to the mosque, as will be directed by Traffic Police. Pilgrims to Mamre International Prayer Center will access the venue through Boyogerere, Buto, Chobe Road, then through Janda Road, and park as directed by Traffic Police.
Children Protection Department of Police is said to have a special desk during the celebrations, and parents are advised to be vigilant.
Musabiddwa mwenna okugondera abatulafiki kye banaaba babagamba okukola bwe mujja okusobola okwewala okutaataaganyizibwa mu ntambula zammwe.
Abdunasil Luwama, Irene Namugongo, UBC News.
Now, with barely 3 days remaining to the long-awaited Namugongo Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations, members of the Fort Portal Catholic Diocese Organizing Committee in charge of this year's event at the Catholic Shrine, led by Bishop Dr. Robert Muhiro Akiki, have today updated journalists on the progress and challenges of the preparation so far. The Uganda Episcopal Conference appointed Fort Portal Diocese to animate this year's event, an assignment which the diocese last performed 25 years ago in 1997.
Fort Portal Catholic Diocese, the chief organizer of this year's celebrations of Uganda Martyrs Day, is working around the clock to ensure that pilgrims and the entire masses are protected against COVID-19.
As regards the nature of our celebration, it is going to be open because the country was open for the economy and the different activities nationwide. However, we are not yet 100% COVID-19 free. So the Ministry of Health and the government has been urging us that we need to observe the SOPs.
On the issue of environmental protection, the diocese has come up with stringent measures to deter the public from littering Namugongo and the surrounding areas with polythene bags.
They're keeping it clean and not throwing litter everywhere. I'd like to invite all of you and all the people to come and we celebrate this Martyrs Day. It is a spiritual event of honoring our heroes of our faith at Namugongo, the place where many of them were burned to death.
The diocese is expecting the arrival of the choir from Fort Portal Catholic Diocese, followed by the Pilgrims.
We are eagerly awaiting the Pilgrims from Fort Portal who are yet to arrive. They should be in Swanjere Seminary today in Mpigi district, and hope they'll arrive tomorrow. And when they come, we shall have a triumphant entry of them. They will come with a band marching towards Namugongo. I hope you'll be there to cover it. Yeah. And then we are also awaiting the choir that will be singing. Should be arriving this evening here at Namugongo.
However, the diocese is still struggling with the limited resources to fully fund the ongoing activities.
We are still lacking a bit of funds because the numbers of pilgrims coming is kind of overwhelming. Like the chairperson in charge of health was telling me the drugs which had been secured to be used starting from the 2nd of June, they were already cleared by the pilgrims who arrived. So we already can see a shortage there. So we are appealing for people to support us in some of these ways because we still have some gaps.
It is less than 5 days remaining to the celebrations of Uganda Martyrs Day. Joseph Oko and Glorious Champire, UBC News in Namugongo.
And of course, in that report there, you've heard about the choir from Fort Portal, and Fort Portal Catholic Diocese has today flagged off 300 choir stars who will sing on the Martyrs Day celebrations at Namugongo Catholic Shrine on the 3rd of June this year. The flag-off exercise followed a mass led by Father Isaiah Mayombo, the Diocesan Vicar General, to dedicate the journey into God's hands.
In his homily, Father Isaiah Mayombo, the Vicar General, told the choir to ask for the intercession of the Holy Spirit in whatever they do. After the Mass, every choir member was given a neck tag for identification purposes before boarding the bus. The selection of 300 choir members followed a 3-month training and auditions ahead of the celebration. According to Father Joseph Musana, the diocesan choir coordinator, the selection followed a criterion.
We looked at choristers who can grasp the notes as fast as they could, and also looked at choristers who can learn how to articulate words in any language, read and articulate the words properly. And also looked at choristers who can learn when they are called upon to do vocals.
Many choir members from different churches showed interest to participate, but some were eliminated after failing to meet the requirements.
We enrolled a number of them, hoping that we are going to audition them and remain with 250. But during the course of practices, we got a few resources more, and were able to train the 300 and maintain them.
These will sing multi-language songs in line with the day's celebration to favor all languages in the country.
We have prepared what is called a multilingual mass, many languages, and also considering the languages of the countries surrounding Uganda, that is Kiswahili, Lingala.
The selected choir stars we walked to were all excited about their final selection to lead in the main celebration.
Thank God for making me reach this far. This is my first time to lead in Namugongo.
I'm very happy to be part of the choir from Poto that is going to admit Mass. We have been practicing for all those months.
Finally, the choir members aboard 6 buses, including parliamentary and UWA buses, started the journey to Namugongo. Shaidat Nasaku, UBC News.
Now, the senior special envoy to the President, Dr. Rukidi Kiijanangoma, has tipped religious leaders on working closer with government to steer development. He was at the reception for bishops hosted by State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives at his home in Kawale District.
They all arrived in style, one by one. Received and welcomed by the host minister, David Bahati. Though it was a reception organized for men of God, politicians equally couldn't miss this golden chance.
The Most Reverend, and greetings. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much and congratulate you for organizing a very good event.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Minister David Bahati was flanked by Ministers Ruth Nankabirwa, Dr. Chris Baryomusi and Henry Musasizi.
We want to pledge that the NRM government shall continue to partner with religious institutions and with the faith-based organizations and with you religious leaders for Uganda to make progress.
We have no shame wherever we are with honorable heart to stand for Church of Uganda in the cabinet and in parliament and everywhere.
His Excellency the President and Cabinet committed that the remaining part which we owe the Church of Uganda, the 41 billion, is paid in two financial years. So that one with Prisia, with Henry, with Ruth, you should count it done.
Judge Bishop Church of Uganda, His Grace Dr. Stephen Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, was the co-chief guest.
Pray for the leadership of Uganda, the President, and all leaders, and especially the way they have supported the church. And the church is working hand in hand with the government. The Church of Uganda here is having 5,200 primary schools and also 640 secondary schools, 5 universities.
Both the outgoing and incoming bishops were in attendance.
We are entering a new phase of life. We are not anxious about it because the faithful God who has been with us right from the beginning is the same God. God is a provider and He is with us.
Because I would be at home, but I've had this opportunity, His grace to take me out. This is my first pastoral visit.
Former Premier and now Presidential Senior Envoy, Dr. Rukidi Kiijanangoma, graced the reception.
I would therefore say, let's do whatever we can
to reinforce each other between the government and the church, because the message we are giving of fighting against poverty, as Ndugu Chris Baryomunsi had told us, are in line with what the Bible teaches, with what Jesus did, to work for the poor so that they can be happy. And there is no way how they can be happy if they remain poor.
The host minister was in the end blessed by the men of God.
Blessings without sorrow, of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, rest upon you, rest upon all God's people here present.
Besides being a minister, David Bahati is a member of parliament representing Ndora West constituency, and his immense dedication to the church and community works remains at the heart of many. Robert Onyango and Gloria Gutavinji, UBC News, Kabale.
As we draw near towards the 3rd of June, Martyrs Day, UBC TV Newsroom is profiling all the martyrs that lost their lives for their refusal to renounce Christianity. Today we start off with St. Charles Lwanga, who encouraged the rest of the martyrs as they awaited their fate.
Today we profile St. Charles Lwanga, who was born in 1861 and died in 1886 as a Uganda martyr at 25 years old. Charles Lwanga was the patron saint of the African Youth and Catholic Action. His father was Mabingo, a Muganda, and his mother was Gwochiya. He was born in Budu in a place called Birinzi and liked wrestling as a sport. He was a good leader and the head of the pages. He is admired for his possibly untouched virtue of chastity. During the prosecution, Charles remained firm up to the time of death, and the modern dome of many pages was centered on him. It was Charles Lwanga who enabled the rest of the martyrs to retain their individual purity, to cling onto their faith. To punish him, Lwanga was separated from the group of Senkole, the assistant chief executioner. He was executed on Thursday, 3rd June 1886, towards noon. He was burnt in a slow fire from foot to head at Namugongo, Busari. By that time, Lwanga was 25 years old. He died in a slow, painful fire while praying for the conversion of both the king and the executioners. In that very place where he was executed, there was a small church. The idea of putting up a new church was initiated by the late Emmanuel Cardinal Nsubuga amid a lot of opposition. This was at the site of Charles Lwanga's Basilica, exactly where the altar of Namugongo Martyrs Basilica stands. The church today venerates the 22 saints who were ranging in age from 13 to 50 years old. The work was done by Rocco Construction. The building started in 1967 and ended in 1975. This church was later lifted up to the status of a basilica, and it has 22 pillars to represent the 22 martyrs.
Have waka, you passed the eyes through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo. Look at you waka, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Show them waka with MTN Momo Nyabo. Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Are you a player in the tourism sector with a struggling business following the COVID pandemic? UDB, in partnership with European Union, is providing financial assistance to businesses operating in the tourism sector. You can access subsidized loan with grants, loan with a tenor of up to 5 years, free business advisory services, and free environmental impact assessment. Visit www.udbl.co.ug/call for applications to apply. Deadline for submission is 31st October 2022 at 5 p.m. For more information, please call 0414 355 509.
Flavor. When we're together, the vibe is pretty alright. Our taste is pretty awesome. We are Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment. Enjoy Mirinda Fruity, Uganda's #1 fruity refreshment.
The Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is back on Sunday, 3rd July 2022 at Lubiri Mengo. This year, the run will be physical and will be flagged off by Sabasajja Kabaka at 7 a.m. Come out in large numbers once again to Lubiri Mengo. Run for a cause to fight and end HIV by 2030. Buy your ticket today at 15,000 Uganda shillings from Airtel shops at Tobani Center, New Taxi Park, ShopRite Building, Benchwanka Street, Majestic Brands Office at Bulange Mengo. You can also buy your ticket using Airtel Money. Dial *185*5#. Select Payments, select Kabaka Run, and follow the prompts to complete the payment. Kabaka Birthday Run 2022 is brought to you by UNAID, CBS, BBS, and Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that break, and this is our second and final edition of News Tonight. Participants at the ongoing 12th East African Community Armed Forces Field Training Exercise Ushirikiano Imara 2022 have been told that joint field training exercises boost military readiness and overall response to complex security challenges. The remark was made by the UPDF Military Police Commandant and Exercise Director, Major General Don Nabasa, on behalf of the Chief of Defence Forces, General Wilson Mbadi, as he officially opened the 12th EAC Armed Forces Field Training in Jinja District.
The East African Community Armed Forces Field Training Exercise objective is intended to promote the integration of the East African Community Defence Forces, police, prisons, and the civilians.
On behalf of the Working Committee, I want to thank the Ugandan government for hosting the East African Community largest exercise since it was last held 5 years ago. In 2018 due to COVID. Exercises of this nature cannot just happen overnight. There has been a lot of effort throughout the East African Community Command structure that has been put into planning, developing, and preparations.
The exercises involves all East African commanders in planning and preparation to meet the required success.
Its regional force is ready to defend and deter threats in any geographic part of the East African Community region. As such, the exercise scenario is as the benefits for our resilience and strength.
UPDF Military Police Commandant and Exercise Director Major General Don Nabasa has welcomed the participants on behalf of the Chief of Defence Forces, General Wilson Mbadi. The exercise composition of the military, police, prisons, and key civilian components entails an opportunity to train realistically. The exercise provides knowledge on how to deal with thematic areas like peace support operations, counter-terrorism, counter-piracy, and disaster management. Major General Nabasa strengthened on military cooperation as regional forces address the new emerging threats. Haruna Mutesa Asira, UBC.
Matters pertaining to health now, where health workers who had gone on strike last week have succumbed to government threats of terminating their services should they insist on progressing with the strike. And as a result, Many have returned to their workstations. Our reporter Brian Biaruhanga visited Mulago National Referral Hospital and Chirudu Hospital to assess the situation.
This is how Kawempe Referral Hospital looked like on a day health workers were not expected to report for work as the planned industrial action was made to rage on across the country. Kawempe Referral Hospital had close to 400 deliveries ever since the industrial action by health workers commenced. Executive Director Kawempe Referral Hospital downplayed the strike, saying the management does not believe in the industrial action.
You can clamor for better pay, but I think the approach, the modus operandi to me is wrong. Couldn't there be a better way of pressing for better pay still? Because it is your right if you feel you are not enough. What you are getting is not enough. But then again, I have always posed the question. You have said you are poorly paid. I have not seen anybody resigning.
It's not good for us to be on strike such that we lose patients' lives. It's unethical because we have taken an oath to look after these patients. So we should have that feeling for our people. We should have that nationalism in ourselves. Work, do good for the country, do good for the citizens of this.
The nurses and midwives called off the strike following government threats to fire those who will hesitate to report at their workstations this week. However, the nurses say the suspension of the strike is only for 90 days, a move that minimized what would be a disaster in many public hospitals and many health centers. However, some of the dissenting voices of nurses at Kawempe Referral Hospital are not in agreement with the laying down of tools.
We are working not because we are on the strike, but we have to work on the emergency cases. Ideally, Kawempe is full of emergencies. So
have withstood the pressures of going for the strike, and they have worked here throughout all the period that has been. The rest of the people have been exercising the strike, but for them they have managed to come in and we handle the emergencies in this hospital.
To handle strikes, I think is negotiation. We need to negotiate with the government to enhance salaries for all staff, not say scientists, which nurses, all cadres need increment because the goods we buy from the same shops. If it's sugar, it's the same price. If housing is the same, so government should try to enhance all salaries to give equal opportunity to all to work and serve and survive.
Justus Chirop, the president of Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union, confirmed that the strike has been suspended.
Let us suspend until we see the money. Yes. In our pockets. But if we see the money that it is not there, that he has deceived us, then that is when we now rejuvenate our strike.
Brian Biaruhanga, UBC News.
Let's take yet another short break and return with business.
Be alert. Do not share your Airtel Money PIN number with anyone. Airtel Uganda employees will never ask for your Airtel Money PIN number on call, SMS, or by email. All SIM card registrations, SIM card verifications, or SIM swaps are done at clearly branded Airtel shops and not on phone. To report any fraudulent activity, please call 100 immediately. The official calling number for Airtel promotions is 0200 100 100. Stay alert on Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Affordable packages, great entertainment, sports, the local content, telenovela, the movies. There is something for everybody. Everybody, Go TV. This is where great stories live.
Get the best entertainment for any budget. With GoTV, you will have great entertainment for as little as 13,000 Uganda shillings per month. GoTV, great stories, Zidiwano. GoTV Uganda, love it.
Jennifer. Jukila, wewagamba, I don't have waka. You bust the eyes through me about my waka. Now come and see for yourself, see my waka that I got with Momo Nyabo.
Simply deposit 20K or more on your mobile money for a chance to win 3 Toyota Succeeds and money to 2,000 lucky winners every week. We're giving away 24 cars and over 2 billion shillings of mobile money.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business, and we begin with some rather bad news where Uganda Revenue Authority has reported a loss of over 40 billion shillings in 1 year of implementation of the electronic fiscal resetting and invoicing system (EFRIS). The tax body confirms that 4 culprits have been brought to book and are currently assisting in investigating the tax avoidance scheme.
Launched by Uganda Revenue Authority in the 2020-2021 financial year, the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system is aimed at easing the doing of business. EFRIS is an initiative under the Domestic Revenue Mobilization Strategy and is to be used by all businesses to manage the issuance of receipts and e-invoices.
We no longer entertain no manual documents of invoices. We now use e-invoices for VAT for registered taxpayers.
However, the tax body has reported non-compliance issues on the platform through non-issuance of tax receipts or invoices and suppression of sales. According to Dennis Kugonza, the Commissioner of Tax Investigations, some business persons have been creating tax evasion schemes and deliberately circumventing the IT process, leading to a loss of over 40 billion shillings.
For VAT, as the system comes on, has also been frustrated and manipulated by some taxpayers. Also, others don't use it. They are not taking it on board, and all those are being followed up, and some have been forced to comply.
VAT is an indirect tax. So like he said, that the people who are supposed to be collecting it, actually they are the agents, say the supermarkets, whatever business that they are doing. So any citizen, any local that goes to purchase anything in those supermarkets have already paid it. So in other words, it should just be remitted to the organization. So they are earning their profits as well as eating what the citizens have have paid, meaning Ugandans have already paid that tax.
At least 4 perpetrators have been arrested and prosecuted. The manipulation of EFRIS comes with very huge fines and harsh sentences for the culprits.
Of the 4 main culprits, so far 2 is what has been reconciled, amounting to roughly 40 billion. But the reconciliation is still going on. And those 2 have actually expanded into so many companies, which companies also now we are beginning to pursue one by one.
EFRIS is meant to improve the business efficiencies and reduce cost of compliance through improved record keeping among taxpayers and mitigation of tax administration shortfalls. Charlotte Amoge and Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
For agriculture to thrive, there needs to be agricultural extension officers who give technical advice to farmers. Now, the story is quite unique for those who conduct their roles in mountainous areas like Kasese. Our reporter Ivan Kahwa reports.
Up the mountains are gardens where farmers grow passion fruits and onions in Impata Parish, Bwesumbu Sub-County in Kasese District. Though Mpata Trading Center is at a lowland, the agricultural activities take place up in the hills, and access to the gardens requires some form of stamina. Milton Masereka is an agriculture extension worker. attached to Waisumbu Sub-County, Kasese District. He is in charge of coordinating inputs, mobilizing and training farmers,
and linking them to quality inputs.
He uses his Yamaha motorbike to reach the farmers in the hills through this narrow road.
We mobilized our farmers and they had to make it. But of course we made this in 2019. It has taken long.
We trekked about 2 kilometers to reach the farmers, and at some intervals I had to get off the motorbike due to the poor state of the access road.
Imagine this is a daily routine. So I'm trying to follow this extension worker. Is trying to go and monitor the farms, but reaching this mountainous area, it needs quite a lot of energy. So the motorcycle is now not able to carry 2 people, so that's why he's riding alone on the motorbike. But of course, let me continue to go and get the pictures and as well look at the farmers, talk to them and the challenges they really face.
My pads are now almost burnt because we have been just quarreling with the clutches. That's why all the time we get challenge of repairing motorbikes. And all the way the money could be consumed almost in the whole journeys.
The motorbike is now left behind and we have to walk to the farms where onions are grown.
You can imagine the way the way small it is. It is the one which is serving the whole nation.
Milton says he comes to this place once in a week and he has introduced parish agriculture officers to supplement on the monitoring of farmers.
Whoever with these farmers.
After a long trek, we find farmers busy weeding their plantations. Calicia Monex plants onions and benefited from the tins supplied to community members to embrace the planting of onions.
Milton had supplied the 600 tins to the farmers, whereby that tins had assisted us to eradicate poverty in some of the families.
Labor is hired to work on these plantations at a cost.
She's a worker and she's paid 10,000 each day.
Transportation of produce is the biggest challenge to the farmers here.
And we the farmers, in fact, will be suffering because when we come to transporting, it will be a problem, and then the price will be at a low price.
For now, community members transport the products to Mpata Trading Center, where the vehicles take them to the market areas.
That bundle is 600 from in the mountain here to the trading center, and if it is a basin is 3,000.
Farmers plant in blocks in order to integrate sustainable land management.
One way or another, helping the retention of water, and at the end, they are almost again holding or retaining some soils that would be swept.
Milton believes that there is room to diversify farming in these hard-to-reach areas.
Farmers of this area to really come and construct permanent houses here, and we solicit the government to support them, or you support yourself from the production of the onion and you diversify the farming. For example, these pastures are supposed to be utilized by animals. We can do zero grazing here.
This house was constructed by a farmer after reaping big from onions.
Here there's someone who wants to buy a vehicle from onions.
Yes.
Who's that one?
He's called the Innocent.
Are you sure he's going to buy a vehicle?
Yes.
This is interesting.
He gets 25 million per season. 25 per season. And planting 29 tins.
Heading back to the trading center is the same story, traveling in intervals. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kasese District.
The plight of an agriculture extension worker in Kasese District, and of course being a mountainous area, there are so many challenges. Thank you so much, Ivan Kahwa, for bringing out those challenges in that report. Now, early and late stage startups in Africa stumble upon numerous challenges during their growth curves. According to experts, African countries have different startup experiences and thus the need for sharing the best practices for sustainable enterprises. We have more in this story.
Startups are the future of a booming economy in Africa, and if given the right support, they can improve the employment rates among young people and position businesses for investment opportunities.
Sometimes what we work on as startups cannot take off unless you have large corporate offtake. So how are you encouraging companies as well to embrace innovation, to create environments where they can collaborate with startups, environments where they're creating opportunities for these startups to co-create with them, right? So on and so forth.
African governments are urged to introduce incentives like tax holidays, low interest loans and affordable space to help reduce the financial burden for budding entrepreneurs and innovators.
In Ghana, we have a policy like tax-free holidays for early-stage businesses from 5 to 15, 20 years. So that means that there's a policy that is supporting the young entrepreneur right from scratch not to pay tax, to be able to plow back all the profit back into the business to scale the business. And we believe that if the business grows sustainably, they will be able to create jobs.
While government's interventions are pivotal in the success of startups, the responsibility of the entrepreneur cannot be ignored.
People are generally so lazy, they don't want to put in the work. They want quick money they can just receive without, putting in all the efforts. So because of that, they just expect to, get money from funders, grants, they expect to get money from credit banks, among very many others.
This is general in Africa. In our university, we find a majority of theoretically trained graduates, which in turn they lack practical experiences on the job field. So I believe that the startups need the right talent to build their business models and also need the right infrastructures.
An African startup community event in Kampala converged innovation entities, investors and ecosystem support organizations from across Africa with a growth and sustainability agenda.
There is an appetite for hackathons and for startups to begin, which means that the mindset here is driven by this need to become an entrepreneur, which is very, very good because we seek that out.
Having money and an idea is not enough to start a business. You need to acquire certain skills. You need to have information and you need to seek help.
Themed Empowering the Startup Community in East Africa, the workshop, organized by the Innovation Village in partnership with Garage 48 and Estonia Center for International Development, brought together young entrepreneurs from Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Africa and Ghana. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
We can't tolerate sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment is unacceptable in our school.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
Even with my grandson, a doctor at my side, I struggled to get the help I needed. But he saw something that day. He began to work day and night. He wouldn't quit, even when people said no. He wouldn't stop fighting. He knew something had to change, and his vision was bigger than anyone could imagine. He made it possible to receive quality medical services anywhere in Uganda by simply using a phone.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back now, and let's have a look at sports news. And the day to the Sekafa Women Championship at the FUFA Technical Center in Njeru, Team Uganda is all out to challenge for the trophy. Pitted in Group A that has Burundi, Djibouti and Rwanda, Uganda looks to top the group. Group B has Tanzania, Zanzibar, South Sudan and Ethiopia. Ethiopia has proven to be favorite to win the trophy. Take a watch.
My country should expect a good performance and a good display on the pitch, because we really want to win this championship, and we are using this tournament to prepare ourselves for AFCON. So we are not going to take it for granted. Being a top scorer is my target, but I will have to work hard for it. If I happen to get chances or to create more chances, of course I'll be a top scorer, and I'm praying hard for that. Of course I have to work hard, because I know I can do it. I can score goals, but I can't score when I've not worked hard. I have to work hard. After making history of reaching 100 goals in the league, I want to bring that confidence.
At 25 seconds to the top of the hour here in the studios of UBC TV, we finally come to the end of our second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 30th day of May 2022. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night and catch you tomorrow.
From the UBC Auditorium is proudly brought to you by
I love you. You wish.
I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm a best and feet, I just want to be happiness. If I broke down my business, I'ma show you go right. Hey, all I get for the night. Whatever you want to happiness. If I broke down my business, I'ma show you go right. All I get for the night. Funny SSC, if you be the reason why your baba want to jealous me. If you want to take a serious, I do top speed. No fit to resonate, I'm on a different frequency. I don't think it's necessary. I be done with somebody that could do like me. And I be like Musala coming off the right wing. I cut to your defender, you no need to tell me. I'm a house, finesse. You know, say me, I'm a snack. And I go carry go. If me, I got money past you. If you're not careful, finesse.